What if I told you that even in 2026, with all our advanced AI, endless data tracking, and global connectivity, there's still one corner of the internet that refuses to give up its secrets? A digital horror so bizarre, so persistent, that no investigator, no hacker, no algorithm has been able to explain it completely. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into the darkest, strangest corners of the online world. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because today we're exploring something that still keeps seasoned internet sleuths up at night. Stick around until the end, because the final twist might make you question everything you see scrolling on your screen right now. Let's get into it. It all started years ago on obscure forums and anonymous image boards, but its echoes are still felt strongly today. People call it by different names depending on where they first encountered it, yet the core experience remains the same, an overwhelming sense that something is deeply wrong with the fabric of the digital realm we all inhabit. Unlike classic creepypastas that wrap up neatly with a jump scare or a moral lesson, this one lingers, it evolves, it adapts. And worst of all, it has no clear origin, no single creator, and no definitive resolution, even as we move deeper into the 2020s. Imagine logging onto a seemingly normal website, or opening a random link shared in a quiet Discord server. At first, nothing stands out. The page loads with basic text, maybe a few grainy images, or looping animations that feel slightly off. The colors are muted, the font's just a little too retro, evoking that early 2000s GeoCities vibe mixed with something far more unsettling. Then, as you scroll or click around, the content begins to shift. Messages appear that seem to reference your own life, details no stranger should know. A childhood memory you never posted online, the name of a pet that died years ago, coordinates that lead to a place you once visited but never mentioned publicly. The longer you stay, the more personal it gets, until the boundary between your screen and your reality starts to blur in ways that feel impossible. What makes this particular internet horror so enduring is how it defies every attempt at rational explanation. Some researchers have tried tracing the code behind these anomalous sites and videos, only to find that the hosting servers change locations constantly or vanish entirely when anyone gets too close. Others point to sophisticated ARG-style projects gone rogue, where what began as interactive fiction somehow slipped its leash and started operating independently. But even the most dedicated code analysts admit that certain elements simply don't add up. There are strings of data that reference events which hadn't happened yet when the pages first appeared. Audio files embedded in the background contain whispers that, when slowed down or run through spectrogram tools, spell out warnings in languages the uploader couldn't possibly have known. One of the most chilling aspects is how it spreads not through viral marketing or algorithmic promotion, but through quiet, almost intimate recommendations. Someone in a late-night chat will drop a single link with the message, "Check this out, but don't stay too long." Those who click rarely share screenshots or full explanations afterward. Instead, they describe a heavy, lingering dread that follows them offline. Phones start showing missed calls from unknown numbers at exactly 3:33 a.m. Dreams become unusually vivid, replaying fragments of the digital experience in hyper-realistic detail. A few have even reported physical symptoms, headaches, sudden nosebleeds, or an inexplicable aversion to bright screens that begin only after their encounter and fade slowly over weeks. Skeptics, of course, have their theories. Some blame advanced deepfake technology, combined with aggressive data scraping from social media profiles. In an era where AI can generate convincing video and audio in seconds, it's easy to imagine malicious actors building personalized horror experiences tailored to individual users. Others suggest it's a loose network of performance artists or psychological experimenters pushing the boundaries of interactive terror. There's even a camp that believes it's an emergent property of the internet itself, a kind of digital ghost born from the collective unconscious of billions of connected minds, feeding on our fears and curiosities like a modern folklore entity. Yet none of these explanations fully account for the cases that cross over into undeniable reality. There are documented instances where participants in these experiences later discovered real-world evidence tying back to the digital clues. Abandoned buildings located at the exact coordinates provided in a cryptic message containing objects that match descriptions from the site down to the smallest detail. Old newspaper clippings from decades ago that suddenly appear in search results only after someone interacts with the horror, as if the algorithm itself is complicit. In one particularly disturbing thread from a few years back, a user claimed the entity, or whatever it is, predicted a personal tragedy with eerie accuracy, posting details hours before the event unfolded. The post was archived before deletion, and the timestamps still don't lie. As we hit 2026, the phenomenon hasn't faded into nostalgia, like so many other early internet legends. If anything, it has grown more sophisticated. What once appeared as simple HTML pages with broken links now sometimes manifests through seemingly legitimate apps or social media accounts that gain traction organically before revealing their true nature. Live streams that run for days with nothing but static and faint background noise suddenly insert frames that only certain viewers can perceive, depending on their device or location. Some analysts tracking these anomalies report that the infections, as they've come to call them, appear to learn from previous encounters, avoiding detection methods that worked in the past, and targeting new vulnerabilities in our increasingly AI-mediated online lives. The psychological impact cannot be overstated. For those who dive too deep, the line between paranoia and genuine threat becomes razor-thin. Forums dedicated to discussing these experiences are filled with users warning newcomers to turn back, while simultaneously sharing just enough details to keep the curiosity alive. There's a strange addiction at play here, the same pull that makes us slow down to look at a car crash on the highway. Except this crash might be happening inside your own mind. Mental health professionals have started documenting cases of digital derealization, where constant exposure to these blurred realities makes everyday life feel less authentic by comparison. What keeps drawing people back, even when they know better, is the tantalizing possibility that this isn't just random digital noise. Maybe it's a warning. Maybe it's an experiment conducted by forces far beyond any lone hacker or studio. Or maybe, in the quietest corners of the web, something has awakened that was never meant to interact with humanity in the first place. The absence of a clear villain or neat resolution is precisely what makes it so effective as horror. Traditional stories give us monsters we can define, defeat, or at least understand. This one offers none of that comfort. It simply exists, watching, waiting for the next curious soul to click the link. Even now, in an age where nearly every mystery gets dissected by crowdsourced intelligence within hours, this particular internet horror remains defiantly unexplained. Attempts to map its full scope lead to dead ends, or worse, personal encounters that leave investigators unwilling to continue. Governments and tech companies stay suspiciously silent on the matter, which only fuels speculation about whether they know more than they're letting on, or if they're as powerless as the rest of us. So the next time you're browsing late at night and stumble across something that feels just a little too tailored, a little too knowing, pause for a second. Ask yourself whether you really want the answers this digital void might be offering. Because once you start looking, it has a way of looking back. And in 2026, with the internet more intertwined with our daily existence than ever before, the stakes feel higher than they did in the wild early days of anonymous boards and forgotten websites. If this story sent a chill down your spine, drop a like and let me know in the comments which part unsettled you the most, or if you've ever encountered something similar yourself. Share your experiences, but remember to stay safe out there. Have you found any links or sites that left you questioning reality? Tell us below, but maybe don't include the actual addresses. The last thing we need is to feed whatever this is. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the web's most persistent unsolved horrors, make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you never miss future explorations into the unknown. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. You're braver than most. Until next time, keep your screens guarded and your curiosity, well, maybe just a little restrained. See you in the next one.